What's going on? Welcome to HDTV. You're now rocking with your boy. Now, I said I was going to do Ahsoka last night. That ain't work. But I gave you guys two videos yesterday. One was talking about them boys. Talking about the Cowboys. Every year we hear this same story. And then I did a video on Attack on Titan. It's going to be a new manga that's dropped next year. It's going to be an 18-page, I think 18-page booklet or whatever they call it. And they said that they're going to have a brand new cover art, but there's no... It might be a whole bunch of new characters. I'm thinking there's going to be a bunch of new characters. I don't think you're going to go into, unless you're going to show what happened right after Mikasa, like you give a short story on how she met Jean. But anyway, Ahsoka, the highly anticipated series. Everybody has been so hard on the shows. Boba Fett, I liked it. Boba Fett, a lot of people didn't like it. They was like, it's not the same Boba Fett. What people in Star Wars don't understand is that Boba Fett was older. The one you wanted to see do all the high-tech gadgetry stuff, you would want to see on Rebels or somewhere between that time. Now, people got upset with Kenobi. Kenobi to me was great. I loved it at the end. I thought it was good. I think people were tearing it down because people like Star Wars. The thing about The thing about Star Wars fans live in the past too much. They want everything to be like George Lucas instead of letting some things come into fruition. Before they even let something finish, they're already destroying it. Now, the thing I didn't like about the show was Sabine. I thought they showed Sabine way too goddamn much. I thought that she was annoying as hell. I don't have a problem with her getting Force abilities because everybody can tap into the Force. Everybody could use the Force. It just depends on how strong you are to grasp it and be able to hold firm when you're what do you call it? When you're constructing when you're constructing the way that you want to let loose on it, like pull or push and all that type of thing. That takes years of training. Or some people were like Anakin and Luke. They were just born with the Force, like to that degree, you know. So, you know, that's how it is. Now, Sabine, to me, they were trying to make the show way too much about Sabine. Then I did not like the way they were utilizing Ezra. Ezra should have had a way bigger fight scene at the end. Should have been a lot better. Should have been him showing more of his Force abilities. It's like the last episode, it was like, oh, we got to show how great Sabine is, and we forget about Ezra. It's like Ezra is stronger in the Force than she is, and to me, I did not like that. Ahsoka, Rosario Dawson, I've been a fan of hers. I had a crush on her as a kid, but I've been a fan of her forever because she can act, and the movements that she portrayed with the lightsaber. Yeah, I wish it was a little more old school, but for what they're doing now, I thought she did a hell of a job. Now, The ending, what I didn't like was the part where she fought the witch. The witch and everything all of a sudden has combat training and can fight with the sword. I mean with the whatever you call that shit she had, the blade of the long blade. She was fighting with that. And to me, a lot of times Ahsoka should have just took her out. Now, I guess before, I think she was on Rebels or something. So I got to do my backs. I got to go back and watch. I think that fits. It's legit because I think she was I think she was a fighter as well, but I'm not sure. I got to go back and see, unless they use it as, oh, when the great mothers, you know, basically you know, implanted their power in them, like, you know, when Thrawn gave her that power or something, or whatever you call it, that's when she started being able to fight and all that. I felt like Ahsoka should have took her out earlier, but we had to make it dramatized for the show. They're showing Sabine getting choked to death, and then she uses the Force to get the lightsaber and stabbed him, which I was cool with that, because a lot of times when you get the Force, it's off of sheer emotion. It could be a good emotion or a bad emotion. People think being emotional is a bad thing. Like, it depends on what it is. Some people are emotional because, you know, they're just passionate about something. People get passion and emotion confused and conflicting. Now, the whole thing I loved was the Anakin. Anakin, introducing him back into the series was great. Now, Detroit T, I understand what he's saying. Is like, oh, well, he was old in this one. Yeah, but they did the reshoots and they made Anakin when he first turned. That day when Anakin first turned and everything, that was the last time he was Anakin. And then when he became Vader, he became something else. That wasn't the same Anakin. So in the original movie, they did it that way because that's who was Anakin. You know what I'm saying? But then when you get to the new stuff, they want to make Hayden Christensen more involved. And I like that. Hayden Christensen, to me, could be more like Qui-Gon was to Kenobi. He was that same way with Ahsoka. And the Padawan at the end, which was Sabine, was like, nothing. I just thought I saw something or felt something. That was Anakin. And then when Ahsoka went over there, she gave a smile. And then she walked back because Ahsoka loved Anakin. Anakin was the only one who believed in her. And I think, and he chose his path, and Ahsoka blames herself because she feels like, man, if I would have been there, Master would never have turned on anybody. That's not necessarily true. Just like when people say, oh, if Qui-Gon was alive, he could have trained Anakin, he could have made him better. That's not necessarily true. Now he would have left the Jedi Council because they would not have allowed him to train the boy because he was too old. You know? So he would have left, but we don't know. Anakin could have still turned. That's why he was testing her. When he saw her in the Beyond the Worlds, the World Beyond Worlds, we saw Anakin basically come. And I told T, Detroit T, I was right. I told you. Anakin has figured out how to use his power in the afterlife. I told you, because the Force is nothing but a bunch of, energy. It's light and dark. So you can construct your body in another realm, but you can show up from time to time like Qui-Gon does. So I knew it. When I saw him at the end, I knew that was him. I said, oh, that's Anakin. I could already tell. And then that was him. He was just sitting there and he was smiling because he was proud of Ahsoka. She didn't go to the dark side, and that's what he was trying to do. He was trying to free her of all her pain, her anguish, and because he's gotten so much wiser. He's seen so much in the other worlds, and being a Force ghost, he understands now. He understands what it is, and he did his job. He destroyed the Jedi Order, destroyed the Empire, brought back balance, and that's what he did. He fulfilled his prophecy. When he killed Sidious, he I don't care about that new movie that came out. That's bullshit. But when he killed Sidious, that's what happened. And of course, when he met, she was like, "You look young," and he's like, "You look old." It is, you know. He said, "I'm here to finish your training." And Ahsoka, being the snips she was, arrogant then, you know, she basically said, my training, and then he pulled out his lightsaber and she said, "I will not fight you, master," which was taken from the line in, if y'all remember Return of the Jedi, when Luke said, "I will not fight you, father." And that's why Anakin said, "I heard that one before." Hayden Christensen killed it, like, because it's like, whoa, that's how I knew it was Anakin. That's why I was trying to tell Detroit TT it wasn't no dream. Dude, if it was a dream, she'd have been dead. She fell from a goddamn cliff, dog. The chick would have been dead. Dog, she got pulled in the world by Anakin. That's what happened. Everybody trying to say, no, Anakin ain't do that. Yes, he did. He pulled her into that world so she wouldn't die. I don't know why people don't understand that's what happened. These guys making all these videos. No, because if that would have happened in this, bro, stop looking at past events. Dave Filoni did an incredible job. He kept you there guessing, like, how did she get there? Because remember in Rebels, she was pulled, I think, in by Ezra. Right? If I'm not mistaken, because I ain't seen Rebels in so long, I got to go rewatch it. I'm going to go rewatch Rebels after I finish watching Gotham. I'm going to rewatch Rebels. I got to watch Loki too. Season 2 come out by Loki. But that's what happened. He pulled her in, taught her the training. They were going through her visions, and she was mad because if you remember on Clone Wars, they went down there, they disobeyed the order, and she got a bunch of clones killed. She still harps on that type of stuff. Ahsoka, this whole show has been filled with guilt and regret. That's all it was. Guilt and regret. She's guilty because she left her master. She's guilty because she left her Padawan. She feared, she has guilt because and then she, of course, had fear like, man, if I would have been here. She has regret saying, man, I wish I would have been here. Man, if I would have stayed, because guilt turns into regret. So she was like, I regret that, shoot. If I had been there, Anakin would have never turned to such and such. I'm like, how do you know that? You don't know that. You don't know that. Anakin was dealing with his stuff, and like Anakin told her, that's what I did. And then that's when he got angry. And he said, what if I don't want to fight no more, she said. And and that's when he told her, then die. And it was cool seeing the old Clone Wars in live action. They did a great job of that depiction. Great job. The girl who played Snips, the young Ahsoka, was amazing. But when he called her Snips, that's when I knew that was Anakin. Nobody else calls her Snips but Anakin. That's when I knew Anakin came back. And he's going to be there. He's going to be there to talk to her and guide her still. And that's what I wanted. I wanted them to turn him into Qui-Gon, because that's what Qui-Gon did the same thing to Kenobi. Kenobi did the same thing to Luke. Luke eventually was supposed to do that with Finn and Rey, but they messed the story up so bad. It's like, what are we gonna do? But Ahsoka did something at the end. They let Thrawn won. Thrawn used all his pieces. See, Thrawn was playing chess the whole time. He already knew his moves. Admiral Thrawn was just amazing. He stole the show. And then at the end, he gave that soliloquy to Ahsoka, like, I'm sorry we did not meet the apprentice of young Skywalker. I loved it. And he said, we will meet soon. But for today, the victor is I. And then they just boom, out of there. I said, yo, that's dope. Thrawn killed it. Now, Balin, the turned Jedi, he was being called by something. Like, some people are saying it could be the Emperor. Some people are saying that it could be the sun. I don't know. I think it's gonna be something else. But he died though. The guy who was playing him died. He did a phenomenal job. And I liked how they didn't have Ahsoka beat him. Because you know how they try to OP these women saying, oh, women stronger than men. No. He was way too into the Force, way too fundamentally sound for Ahsoka to beat him. Ahsoka is very unpredictable and fights wild. She's just like Anakin was. Very, very emotional, like jumps in using her emotions and aggressive. But as she got older, you could see the differentiation of young Snips to Ahsoka now. And it was amazing. Now, the thing about Balin is, you know, he went on his own journey. Shin, his apprentice, she was just so bent on wanting to fight and wanting to me, she should have killed Sabine from the get-go. That's why I understand she knew how to force pull and do all of this. She should have choked the bitch out early on. That's my only gripes. Is like, dog, Sabine should have got killed early on. But they really couldn't do that because Sabine was the only one who believed Ezra was alive. So without her, Ezra wouldn't have went home. But now he's home. Now you got bigger problems. You got Thrawn back. So you know what Thrawn gonna do. You know what Thrawn about. You know, but the Shin chick, she looked, man, she just, every time I saw her, she looked like she was busting a nut. Every time she about to fight. Sabine kept getting the better of her the whole goddamn show, and I was tired of it. I was like, dog, just force choke this bitch. I'm sorry, guys, I don't like Sabine. I thought she brought the show down to me. With that feminist look, and she just looked like she'll come out and say girl power or some shit. I couldn't stand her, but anyway, I like when they had Anakin switching in between Vader and Anakin switching into the suit in his cell. When you heard that, and then he came out, he was looking like Vader, then went back to Anakin, and he told Ahsoka, you lack conviction. I was like, get her. And then everybody, stop with this bullshit. Ahsoka did not beat Anakin. Okay? Anakin let her. Because, see, Anakin wanted her to strike him down. He wanted her not to, he wanted her to fight the Force. She had the yellow eyes about to be the Sith. Because she was about to strike Anakin down. If she would have struck Anakin down, she would have became a Sith. That's why she said, I want to live. And then turned the saber down, and that's when her eyes went back to normal, because Anakin, that was her final test. Anakin got all that guilt and regret out of her ass. And that's what he was yelling at her about. Like, dog, it wasn't your fault I turned. That was me. It was my fault. You shouldn't have to take on that burden, which she shouldn't, because Anakin's like, I'm your master. Basically like her father. Like, Anakin was like a big brother to her. He loved Snips, and he would do anything for Snips. And he was the only one who had her back. And she left him. She turned her back on him in the Jedi Order, but she's been guilty and regretful ever since. When she found out her master turned into Vader, she probably saw the visions. You know? But you know, at the end of the day, you know, at the end of the day, you know, she basically finally had a clear view of things. And that's the thing I loved about it. She saw. She got to see everything. Like, it was clear now. She wasn't angry with Sabine anymore. She wasn't upset or regretful or guiltful. And that was the whole point of watching the maturation of Ahsoka, that Ahsoka wasn't too old to learn. She still was in training after all these years. She was just fighting to survive. She wasn't fighting to live. It's a difference. If you're fighting to live, you're going to give everything you got, because you know this could be your last. And that's the thing I loved about the show. I'm not getting into all the other side characters, the green chick. I didn't like the part where she could hear the lightsaber duels and stuff. I didn't like that part, but I understand it, because everybody, like I said, everybody could tap into the Force. You know, but for her to really listen and hear that, I don't know. But it is what it is. But as far as the show, they ended it perfectly. Thrawn winning. They took that chance to say, yo, let's it was an Empire Strikes Back feeling. And that's what we needed. We didn't need the Return of the Jedi ending or the New Hope ending. We needed the Empire Strikes Back, and they did it. Ahsoka gets, in my opinion, if I look past all the stuff, it gets 3.5 or 4 out of 4 stars. It was that great of a series. I give it 3.5 because I just didn't like Sabine's character, but that's not her fault. They wrote her that way. I'm not blasting the woman who played her. It's just her character, but I could understand. They're trying to basically say, they're trying to make her like Ahsoka was when she was around Anakin. But Admiral Thrawn, classic. The lightsaber fights. Balin, that dude. Balin was my Ahsoka was my favorite character, of course. Balin, excuse me. Balin was my favorite. I got Admiral Thrawn, excuse me. Admiral Thrawn, I got 1. Balin, I got 2. I got Ahsoka 3. Ezra, I had Ezra, he was okay. I thought they kind of made him weak. They try to make Sabine great. I put Ezra like down. I got the who is it? Yeah, that's it. Those are my guys. Thrawn, Balin, Ahsoka. Those are my favorites. No. So, you know, that's how I look at it. But Ahsoka, season 1, complete. Great show. Season 2, we're probably going to get Thrawn's takeover. So, thank y'all for listening. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share this. Hit that notification bell to select all to receive upcoming notifications. And if y'all love what y'all hear, y'all can donate to the page by going to the description box, hitting that link that'll take you to my Cash App to donate. Shout out to Vernon, man. He be holding it down. If you want to contact me on Zelle, take that number that's in the description box, put it into the search engine for Zelle. You'll find my account. You guys can also super chat when we go live for premiere or after the video. You guys can super thanks. I might watch the game tonight, but if I don't get a chance to watch it, what was I saying? I'll do it again tomorrow. But if I watch it tonight, I give my review. So thank you guys for your love and blessings. I'm out. Deezy.